Alright, thank you very much for clicking on the video. This is Gulpain back again, and today I'm looking at this game, this awesome game that I've been playing recently. It's Wonder Labyrinth. So this is one of the few games that I've ever pre-ordered because I saw it on, I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw it somewhere. Maybe it was on GameSack or something like that, or I saw it somewhere anyway. And I was like, oh, that looks like Symphony of the Night, because I do love Symphony of the Night, and any clone of Symphony of the Night that is attempting to, like, you know, copy it or pay homage to it, then I'm all in for it. And this doesn't disappoint at all. This is absolutely fantastic. It's very, very addictive as well. It's obviously not as complicated as Symphony of the Night. Like, it doesn't have you know, a lot of the weapon customization or a lot of the magic, or it doesn't even have a status screen, like a proper one. Like, it has a status screen, but like there's no picture of the main character, or, you know, you can only equip like a sword and a bow and arrow. So that's all you can do. You can use items and stuff as well, like, but it's not really as advanced as Symphony of the Night, which is a shame. Bloodstained is probably the most like Symphony of the Night, and probably the best Metroidvania, apart from Symphony of the Night, probably the best Metroidvania game. But this one comes close. This is a simple sort of Metroidvania. So a more basic version, but still absolutely fantastic. I love this style. It looks exactly like Symphony of the Night. Even the save room there as well. Like, you'd think you were looking at Symphony of the Night. The main character is a female, but she does kind of look like Alucard. She has the same sort of the cloak and the run animation. That's very, very similar. So you can you know, distinctly say this is the Symphony of the Night clone. But there is a few new things in this. There's the main mechanic of it. So this is basically it's an anime. It's a record of Lodoss War. I just call it Wonder Labyrinth but it does have a really long name. But I just call it Wonder Labyrinth. It's a good way to talk about it. So there's a couple of gimmicks in it, or not gimmicks, but there's a couple of mechanics in it that are really, really good. The magic is not really a large part of the game, I don't think, anyway. Probably the biggest part of the game is the bow and arrow thing. So the bow and arrow, you have to kind of use it in different areas. You have to you have to hit the arrow so that it basically rebounds off the wall, and then it hits like these little mechanic things. So it happens quite a lot in the game. You have to, like, to get to a different area, you have to basically hit the arrow so that it rebounds off the wall and hits like a little sack or something, or else you need to hit the sack with multiple arrows in order to make it kind of go back and forth. So it's very interesting. And the other main mechanic in the game then is the fire and the wind spirit, although it kind of looks like water at times. But you turn on fire or you turn on wind, and depending on which you have equipped, then you can actually either not hit enemies at all, because if the enemy is a fire trait, then if you are fire, then you won't actually do any damage to the enemy, or if the enemy is wind, etc. and all that. Or it works differently with, like, enemies that are magic enemies or enemies that are physical attack enemies, I think. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure how it works yet, but it is really good. Also, there's little doors, well, not little doors, there's big doors. There's things preventing you from going from one area to another, and you have to basically turn on the fire or turn on the wind at a certain time. There's a button at the top of the joypad that turns it on, or not turns it on, but puts you in wind form or fire form, and then you can basically pass through the object, or the kind of the barrier that's doing it. Also, the bosses are really entertaining, I have to say. The boss characters, they require you, well, some of them require you to switch very, very quickly between the fire and the wind abilities in order to kind of defeat them, which is a very interesting mechanic in itself. So if you lose some hit points, it's really good actually. When you lose your hit points, you can quickly get the hit points back by switching to the other ability, the fire or the wind. So, like, if you've got, the more enemies you attack, the more the wind or the fire goes up, and if it goes up to 3, that means it's full, and that means it'll restore your health. So you should be going into the bosses with 3 wind and 3 fire at all times. So obviously there is another thing to speak about this game is the music. The music is absolutely fantastic. It's like somebody from Castlevania, the girl that did the Castlevania music, just basically said, okay, I'm going to do music for you guys as well, because it's very, very very similar music to Symphony of the Night. Obviously the comparisons to Symphony of the Night, you know, you can draw comparisons all day to Symphony of the Night, and, you know, there'll still be more, but yeah, the graphics, the sound, everything in Symphony of the Night, which is exactly what I want. So all in all then, this game is absolutely fantastic. I would totally recommend this to any Symphony of the Night fan. It's not that long though. I mean, I've only been playing it for a few hours, and I think I'm almost finished it. I haven't covered an awful lot of the map, so I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't look up guides or anything before I play the games. I'm not sure if there's more to the game after you finish it. Like, I'm not really a fan of boss rush modes or anything like that. I don't really like that. I prefer like another bit of story, or people you have to save, or items you have to get, or you know, like defeat a certain amount of enemies in order to do something. I prefer those sort of mechanics as opposed to, you know, like time trials or boss rush modes or something like that. So anyway, yeah, so that's my quick review of Wonder Labyrinth here for the Switch. Totally recommend you get this. It's not out that long either. It's only out a while ago, but it is a fantastic homage or copy of Symphony of the Night, and I'm really enjoying playing it at the moment anyway. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for clicking on the video, and thank you for appreciate you watching till the end. So I'll see you in the next video. Adios. Appreciate you guys.